Welcome back to the Daily Crypto Market Update. BTC printed a second TBO breakdown on yesterday's red candle, down 1.4%. But more importantly, the price of Bitcoin literally smacked that must-hold level. Now, on the weekly, we don't see it because the way that TradingView renders stuff between the daily and the weekly is different. I still don't get why. But if we go here to the daily time frame, we can clearly see back over here. And feel free to disagree with this, by the way. This is okay. I draw support fans and resistance fans like this. I take the Pico low to the next low, and that's my real support level. This is the must-hold level. Then I draw them out incrementally. So from this low to the next one. And this one got broken, so it got moved down. It got broken, got moved down, got broken, got moved down. So this one held back over here in September, and this is the level that is holding up just fine. Now, it hasn't been tested. Actually, let me rephrase that. It got tested yesterday for the first time ever. But this is a level that is admittedly quite weak because I don't think too many people use support fans the way that I do. The other thing you have to also keep an eye on as well is our fib levels. So there was from the 2024 fibs back over here, we kind of have a weak support again. This is like grasping at straws weak at $95,000. Now, the 2022 fibs, we already lost 103. The next level is 69K, which is the previous all-time high back in November 2021. Our 2018 fibs has the top here at 124, has support at 61K. There's really nothing. The only other thing I could possibly find that might provide some level of support is going back to where are my fibs? Oh, it's in the other one. Here we go. Is our 2014 fib extensions. Yeah, 67K. So there's really nothing in this zone other than what I've just shared with you guys, where there's this level. And again, this is a very weak level of support because it's not really strongly established. If we get a bounce from here, cool beans, it's great. But the reality too is that 2 TBO breakdowns like this on the daily is a bad sign. For those of you that aren't aware what these are the bearish inverse of all these white dots that lead to more explosive upside continuation, meaning that the yellow dots lead to more bearish downside continuation. The most recent ones we got was a perfect 3-in-a-row cluster back over here in May, which led to BTC dropping a lot lower. Over here in January, which is where I think we are right now, we might see another leg down, but I think we're going to be chopping sideways for a little while. I don't necessarily think we're going to be going lower and lower and lower just yet. But the main things to consider as well is that we are seeing the slow line here, which is the slowest of the 4 moving averages that comprise of the TBO indicator. It is curling down. So the fact that this is curling down is a sign that Bitcoin is being confirmed as macro bearish, no duh. Now, if BTC were to bounce from anywhere else, if you want to take some other important levels, there's a level here at around 89K. And it's based off of a pivot low here and pivot highs here. But this is also extremely, excessively weak. You have no idea. Like, this is not a solid level to be like, oh yeah, we're going to definitely bounce from here. Another potentially weak argument for a target could be down here as well at 85K. Why? Because there is a fair value gap in here, which hasn't been filled yet. But again, I'm not really studied up on fair value gaps, to be honest. I like the idea of them, but I need to spend more time working with them to really be confident to say that's a fair value gap, that's FVG, that has to be filled. But these are 2 price-based levels to pay attention to, but it's really, really, really weak. The reality right now is that Bitcoin is strong bearish on the daily time frame. The weekly time frame confirmed a TBO Close Long on last week's very red candle, almost 10%. So what happens when we get a blue diamond, a close long? Well, the expected behavior for these is to go up and tag the fast line, which is currently at $107,000. A bit of its stretch. Yes, I agree with you. But that happened actually over here. It moved up. It took 2 weeks, but it did move up. Actually, let me get this measurement tool instead. We saw Bitcoin move up 10% over 2 weeks to touch that fast line. Back over here, when it printed one of these blue diamonds, it moved up 11% to touch the fast line. So it's not impossible for Bitcoin to push up And again, starting from the weekly open, moving up about 14%, which is quite a lot, but it's not impossible. I want to reinforce that as many times as I possibly can because we are oversold on every single time frame. So it makes sense to see a small move back up probably before we keep going lower. Now, there will be periods in Bitcoin's price action where we get one of these and the price just goes sideways and it takes weeks for it to actually return up higher. I do not think that this is where we are at all. Everything in terms of time frame and sentiment, this is where I think we are. I think the next thing we're going to see is one of these guys right there, that X, which is, I don't know why I just didn't use this. This is a TBO cross down. This is part of the TBO bear formula that worked really well to predict the last several markets. If we go to the all-time history index on the weekly time frame, I'm going to go ahead and hide our top bottom recovery rally. We're going to do the TBO bear formula over here. So this is it. So we got our close longs, the two blue diamonds, a red X, cross down, open short. That's the third one. We also have this back over here in 2018, right here. Now notice this happens way after the fact, right? This happens way after our blow off top. Two TBO close longs, cross down, open short, that confirms it. It confirms it super duper late, 33 weeks late. Back over here, after the top, the open short was confirmed, I have to get it right, there, 16 weeks later. So please understand, like, we won't see a TBO open short for quite a while still. So the last time was 16 bars. That means the soonest we could see one is the end of January, which would make sense. But again, the thing to focus on right now, if you're on the bullish side of the fence, you really want to see BTC push back up to tag the fast line. That would be your hope, your wish, your dream. Now, the reality is that we have a TBT bearish divergence back over here in early October, which was our October 10th or 11th liquidation event. Things have been going downhill ever since. Weekly RSI did not go oversold, but clearly we're seeing some signs of on-balance volume looking extremely bearish. Volume is looking okay. I mean, volume is increasing, but volume increasing while we're seeing red candles is not a good sign of bullish strength or recovery. On the 4-hour time frame, back over here in early November, we had TBO breakdowns. The price did explode down, and then we got a reversal, and then we have it again. So the one thing I will give the chart right now is the benefit of the doubt. We're seeing a lot of selling without some sort of a recovery move up higher. So that's a possibility to happen today. But what is the macro trend on the 4-hour? Down. What is it on the daily time frame? Down. What is it on the weekly? This is the only one that is appealing to your bullish nature. It's going up. So macro trend is up. It's bullish. But we're seeing a lot of very clear signs on the daily time frame that things are not looking so great. Okay? Let's go on to Ethereum. This also printed a TBO breakdown on yesterday's move. Now, the one caveat to TBO breakdowns you have to know is that sometimes they print after exhaustion. Usually we want to see these print right before the price breaks below support like this, not after a big explosive drop of 22%. This is leaning more along the lines of an exhaustion exhaustion TBO breakdown. We've seen these print on exhausted moves like this. We get a quick little move up, only to go further back down. Here's a good example of an exhaustion dump, right? So we already break and we get a breakdown on a 7% move, a breakdown and another 10% move wick to wick. That one was 21%. Not the same as what we're seeing right now, but it's a little bit concerning. On the weekly time frame, Ethereum confirmed a TBO breakdown, a TBO close long, the blue diamond, just like back over here. So again, the expected behavior is to see this curl right back up and tag the fast line, which would be an amazing recovery of 20%. It's not likely. On weekly RSI, it's not yet oversold. If it does get down here, this is not a really exciting bullish reversal sign. It's a bad sign that we should continue to see more downside continuation. That's really what it means. On-balance volume has already fallen down a lot. And now we're going to see the moving average here, the white line, start to curl down, which is a negative sign. On the 4-hour time frame, we're getting more TBO breakdowns. this might be an exhaustion breakdown in that we could see a wick up higher. The main level to watch is still 34.35. It makes the most sense. We saw the price battle with this a lot based off of this price action here, this low, all of these opens and closes right here around 34.35. Even this price action on Wednesday last week and then finally Thursday dropping below it. It's a strong level to watch. Stablecoin dominance. You'll be so happy to know that it printed a third TBO breakout. Hooray! So again, what is the macro trend? Well, the macro trend continues to curl upward, which means that it is bullish. So if stablecoin dominance is bullish, that means alts are bearish. Now, this is the part where you guys might be a little bit excited. Okay, maybe. We have a high back over here on the 25th of September on RSI at 82.76. We have a high here at 78.88. And then on November 4th, we saw a high up here at 80.58, which is a good sign if you're bullish. But if things are bullish on this chart, it's not so great. Okay, so we should put this really up here, 80.58. Cool. So now that that's set, we have a new uptrend to watch. Now, recently, we saw on Friday, RSI get back to being overbought yet again. But the main thing to pay attention to is the same thing right here. We're seeing lower highs. So this is a good sign to watch. It's not letting us know, oh yeah, this is going to be dumping right now immediately. The other thing to watch over here is 26.54, close enough. And right here, cool. So we have a level of support down here. If we get any sign of weakness and we break below here, daily RSI for stablecoin dominance breaking below 56 or so, it should be a nice recovery bounce for crypto. But it's really difficult for me to say that because when I look at this chart, it's pretty bad. Seeing the breakouts this high, the last time we got breakouts was way back down here and it pushed up a lot higher. Breakouts were over here and it pushed up a lot higher. We haven't seen breakouts inside of the bear market zone yet. If we're going to see more pain, a possible recovery percentage or price would be around 8.75%, which from the current percentage value is another 9% higher. But if you happen to notice this, weekly RSI is closed at 77.96. Again, weekly RSI when it's overbought means that the chart is strong bullish. When it's oversold, it's strong bearish. Likely to continue to be bearish, likely to continue to be bullish. It's not looking good. So not to mention, I just realized this too. Let me clean this up just a little bit. Put these guys up here. This is the first time that combined stablecoin dominance has been above the weekly cloud, which isn't good. When it's above the cloud, even we have an open long too 2 weeks ago. This is a confirmation sign of being strong bullish. So again, we don't want to hear this stuff for stablecoin dominance because this is where a lot of pain happens. Okay. Let me go back and add my lines and stuff. Cool. Bitcoin dominance did fall on Friday, which is good. On Saturday and Sunday, it just kind of chopped. It's moving up a little bit right now. But the main thing with this chart is that it is strong bearish. So this is actually a good sign that we should continue, to see Bitcoin dominance fall lower. So this drawing right here is better seen on the weekly time frame. So this is our first, or rather last week's candle was the first red candle we've seen since September 8th. My expectation and prediction was for Bitcoin dominance to go up to about 61%, which it wicked way above it. And it wicked up to 61.39%, for 1% the first week in November. And I expect it to start going lower. Now, what'll happen if we see Bitcoin dominance go lower and stablecoin dominance going higher, that's a confirmed bear market. It's done. You can't argue that. But if stablecoin dominance starts to drop and Bitcoin dominance starts to drop, we will see dominance increase for like top 10 dominance, which has a TBT bullish divergence cluster from Friday. Others dominance is still in bullish consolidation, hasn't pushed above the cloud yet, but totally 50 on the 4-hour time frame, TBO breakout, Totally 100, TBO Breakout. Of course, it's dumping right now. That's always fun. But others, BTC, TBO Breakout Cluster. Now, this one's a little bit difficult. This is actually the kind that I like when it's really close together, all three in a row. Price hasn't exploded per se yet. So I am still of the belief that we will see others outperform BTC. But we have to wait and see. But that's what I'm betting on, okay? Now, before I go any further, I want to direct your attention down to the pinned comment below. Check out our courses at thebettertraders.com, whether it's 15 minutes to financial freedom or even our courses at masteringassets.com. We got something for everybody. Also check out, specifically this course because it comes with one-on-one coaching. You never lose access to the course. You don't pay renewal fees. You don't pay monthly fees. You don't do any of that stuff. You get access to free signals that are available on the AllTrading platform, our free TBD signals that have been running for 5 years, which is nuts. And we have data to back it up. Also, we have 2 different strategies that's included in the course for active trading. One is trend trading using the TBO indicator, which I made a video for yesterday, and also for A/B trading, which you should definitely check out. And plus, it also comes with a 1-month trial to the Better Traders Club, which has a ton of stuff in it, including access to the TBO indicator in the trader tier. Or if you're a crypto cheapo, you can just check out the starter tier to get started. Plus, there are links down below to sign up for Femex and also for BYD Buy. All right. If you got coins you guys are interested in me checking out, please leave a comment down below. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe already. If you haven't liked the video, do all that fun stuff. Let's get into it. Cool. Now, I told you guys, keep an eye on StarkNet. Why? Well, for a couple of reasons. The primary reason why this one started to really stick out at me was volume was increasing a lot last week. 10 days ago, I had this big day of volume on the 7th when everything was pumping. And then on Monday, huge day of volume and also price action. On Monday, it wicked all the way up here to 21.77. And then, of course, we know it lost 40%. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. These are opportunities for us to buy the dip. The price is above the cloud. Volume is moving in more and more and more. Look at the moving average going up higher. Now, is anything good happening with StarkNet? I'm sure someone will let me know. Some crypto sleuth will let me know in the comments down below. It doesn't matter. For all intents and purposes, the market has quote unquote picked StarkNet to be next. Daily RSI moved up to 80.5. That's good. The moment it gets up to 90 is when we need to be a little bit more cautious and careful. The last couple of times that it got up this high and overheated was on the 1st of October, back over here on May 9th. These are moments where we got some nice pushes, but it got rejected. Now, the biggest accomplishment for StarkNet right now is the fact that it's above the 236 Fibonacci level. I am not counting the lower wick from the 10th. It doesn't really count in my book for a lot of coins, but this is a huge deal. And it printed a breakout on the daily time frame yesterday. Now, is this an exhaustion pump? That's a really good question. I personally don't think it is because it's happening pretty close to resistance. I would love to see 2 more to get 3 in a row. But this is still, even if it has a little bit of a pullback, I'll continue to buy it. So I took profit on right about here, about 24 cents or so yesterday, which is awesome. I mean, I had the trade already set up in AllTrading. So if it falls back, I'm prepared to buy more on the dip because this is, again, a chart that I've been watching and waiting and expecting it to pop. Monero XMR, good day on Saturday, not so great on Sunday, but this is, again, the kind of stuff you want to be trading. This is why I still think it's a great time to be a trader in this market, even though it's been brutal. These are still good charts. And as long as they have good, strong bullish continuation signals like TBO breakouts on the daily time frame, and the slow line is curling up, which means that the macro trend is bullish, charts like XMR are fun for trading. Now, Aster had a surprise move yesterday, up 14%, which is crazy after it's been hugging the 236 level. This is awesome. And on the 4-hour time frame, it printed a TBO breakout right here after a 4% move that was just confirmed about an hour ago, which is awesome. This is one that's been oversold for quite a while and it's been struggling. But again, as long as we see on-balance volume holding strong, we have TBT bullish divergences back here about 6 days ago and then 8 days ago. So it's nice to see the price finally react to those. It's above the 382 for now. It'll probably get a little bit of a pullback to come back down at least to like $1.15, $1.18 or so before it pushes up higher. But it's a good move. Morpho still has valid TBO breakouts on the 4-hour time frame, but price action is insanely controlled and contained right now. Look at this. If you ever want to know what manipulation looks like, this is exactly what it looks like. This is not organic price action at all. There is a large order to buy that never gets filled over and over until this market maker bot goes, whoops, I forgot. Okay, I got to turn it back on. Turn it back on. Just keep pushing the price up higher and higher. So the thing that's interesting here is that Morpho really actually wants to fall. That's the reality of this price action. Even though it's here in a breakout and it has a TBO breakout on the 4-hour, it's not looking bullish. It's really not, especially with price action that stifled. Now, for some TBO close short action, which is all of these orange flags, Litecoin had a nice move on Saturday, wick to wick, about 11%, which is cool. It gave it away, of course, on Sunday as BTC fell lower, but we have a second TBO close short. This one is actually a lot better because it's, actually no, that one's really good, but 8-9% above support is not such a bad thing. I am expecting Litecoin to go up higher. People are asking. Yes, I am, because this is one that typically pumps last. Pi network on the 4-hour time frame has 2 recent TBO close shorts, really close to support. Really interesting as well that the price has just kind of hung out and done nothing. And we get 2 of these close together is a really promising sign. Bananas 31, I don't even know what this is, but whatever. On the 4-hour time frame, crazy move, 40%. Actually, over the last 8 hours, 67% on the daily time frame. Yeah, no, duh, it has a TBO close short. Look at the volume on this. This is insane. So again, you guys don't want to agree with me, and it's okay. But I told you, like, there are going to be coins that are going to do absolutely whatever they want to do while Bitcoin is dumping and going lower. This is normal in crypto, especially during this period, this short amount of time. Zcash continues to stay bullish. I had my position close in profit, which is awesome. What am I talking about? Last week, I talked about the opportunity that Zcash being a very strong bullish chart. Why is it strong bullish? Because the slow line is pointing up aggressively. I said, well, this is the place that we'd want to buy here on the fast line for a TBO springboard bounce, which yielded us a very juicy 55%, 54% profit, which is awesome. Now, one thing that's interesting about Zcash is it tends to pump when Bitcoin's dumping, if you guys haven't noticed, which is really weird. So if BTC is going to have a recovery today, then maybe we might see Zcash dump back down to the fast line. If it does, it'll be riskier for another TBO springboard bounce. It's not impossible, but it's not like, well, every single time this happens, I'm going to take an entry. It's more like the first time we get a massive recovery, like 58%, the next time we might get one, but it might not be as big. So we just got to keep that in mind, okay? Dash, crazy move on Saturday at 31%, right up to the fast line. So this is still a TBO breakout, TBO springboard bounce. Again, the price is overbought, comes down to the fast line. It goes against us for 20% only to close and hit. Look at the price. It literally wicked just above TBO resistance. How is that not insane? Patience pays. Nibby. This is a major low cap coin. The 30-day moving average of volume is only $37,000. You have to understand this is massively low cap. Be careful. But it's still bullish. It's actually above the cloud. It's looking better than a lot of charts right now, defying a lot of charts what they're doing. Resolve, this one has been on a crazy uptrend. Got a confirmed TBO open long on Thursday last week, even though the next day was down red. Yesterday, it moved up 86%, 87%. That's insane. And it continues to move up higher. Wow. Now, of course, not everything is bullish. Solana has confirmed 3 TBO breakdowns. This is not good for the price. Now, if this is actually an exhaustion breakdown, it could be, to be honest, mainly because it already had a lot of these massive drops. We want to see these print ideally like up here before we get the explosive downward move. So I'm still on the fence. I'm not buying Solana, but I'm on the fence about it really pumping from here. Cardano lost this level of support from back over there. I want to delete that. But more importantly, on the 4-hour time frame, it has a TBO breakdown cluster on the 4-hour. And that's actually a good one because it's not happening on these big, massive red candles. Yes, we've already had a big drop, but we already know that the slow line's pointing down on the daily, on the 4-hour. On the weekly time frame, it closed an open short. That sounds weird. It printed an open short on the weekly, and it's also below the cloud, which means that it's strong bearish. Is it due to bounce? Sure it is. We even have an RSI reset that's possible. What did I tell you though before? Whenever weekly RSI is below 25, that's a sign that things are going to continue likely to be strong bearish. So yes, it's oversold, but any oversold bounce, this is exactly what I talked about in my strategy video, the Trading View Screener video, where I was like, well, look for charts that have these little bounces up here to, well, for the TBO to the fast line, because that's going to be your entry to take a short position where you can do really well. This is exactly the same thing over and over and over and over and over. So I don't see things turning around for Cardano personally. If it gets a reversal move up here to the fast line, it makes way more sense to look for a short once it comes up to this level. And again, I'm still just a little bit ticked off because the price of Ethereum did not tag the fast line, which is going to be my trigger. It didn't even go up here to this support/resistance level. That was my entry. And I totally missed it for my short that I was going to hold for like the next 9 months. Ugh. All right. Charts to keep an eye on. Telcoin. Insane price action. Saturday up 22%, and now it's up 6%, and it's working on pushing above overhead resistance. Absolutely insane. Plasma, XPL. This one on the 4-hour time frame has some TBO breakdowns. Be careful. Volume has fallen down a lot too. And unfortunately, it did put in a low or a lower low yesterday. It's kind of sort of holding. This is one I'd love to see go back up higher. I do expect it to, but right now things are very, very, very shaky for the market. We need to move this up like that. Cool. MYX, weird price action on Saturday. Very, very, very strange. A pump and dump, literally in both directions. The chart pumped up here and then it literally dumped. So Darth Maul candle, but probably on a 6-hour. There we go. Yep. 6-hour time frame. It's a Darth Maul candle, but this is what I use. Now on to your picks. So Zebek Network. This one continues to be strong bearish on the 4-hour. On the daily time frame, it had a TBT bullish divergence. It is retraced all the way down here to support. A bounce from here would be awesome because that would reinforce this level. The only problem is that there's a low here, there's a low here, here a low, there a low, everywhere a low, low. It's not a really fantastic place to be. Let me go and do this. So if Zebek Network were to fall more, not ideally, but down here to this support level today, 28,057, and lose this, it's done. Game over, it's done. But this could be a possible place where it bounces from. eGold, that's probably not eGold, but whatever. EGLD has retraced back down to daily TBO support. Bearish on the daily, bearish on the weekly. Note that weekly RSI has been oversold. Back over here on the 13th and 27th, it's been bearish, for this entire time. So I expect it to continue to be bearish and to lose support here. STBL, 2 TBT bullish divergences on the daily, which is a good sign. On the 4-hour time frame, no other bullish signs are happening right now, other than these previous ones that gave a really nice uptrend. Charts like these, volume is amazing. I mean, the moving average is 1.5 million. This day's volume, 2.2 million, is pretty good, but it's dropped off a lot. So it's new listings have a lot of potential. I will leave it at that. It's true. Even in these crazy, terrible conditions, things could still do really well. So it's at a good price point because it's below the 236. If things went crazy, this would be a fun chart to ride. Previously Phantom, very similar story happening across the board. Really nice pump that happened on the 7th, and prices have just dragged down here to the TBO support line, bearish. On the weekly, with weekly RSI confirming strong bearish trends to continue. On the 4-hour, it's bearish. Daily, it's bearish. ALEF had a weird pump yesterday of 10% on the candle close, but week to week, 18% volume. It was good. It met the moving average. More importantly, it's like, okay, well, it looks like the price is respecting this low from October 10th, which is interesting. Even though we have this TBO support level here at basically 5 cents and another one over here at 4 cents. So it can go lower, just so you know. This is why it's dangerous. While we are getting some good signs of volume, if you're going to trade a chart like this, maybe just for A/B trading, right? And aftershock pumps. Sure, you could trade it, but it might make more sense to layer your orders, right? So if you want to get a quick little 13%, you could layer your order in here, then have your backup order just above that previous low. So if the price falls down an additional 13%, you're set. You're ready. You're prepared for it. Dusk. I don't know anything about this coin other than someone said it's another privacy coin. The only thing I have against that idea of this, like, well, why, like, Dusk should be pumping with everything else. I don't know, Dusk. It's probably new. New-ish. How new is this? Well, it's not that new. 2019. I've never heard of this coin before, ever. If it was going to rally with the rest of the privacy coins, it should have started rallying back over here. Because this is really where privacy coins really started to rally. It had a good moment in the sun earlier this month, moving up 145%, which is nuts. Now, the thing to watch is it going to get enough volume? And will the volume rather exceed the 30-day moving average here? It has to push above historical TBO resistance, which has been in place for a long time, since July. I almost said Thursday. And then, of course, over here as well, like 10 cents. Quant, this one had some great promising signs here, pushing up into resistance, getting rejected. But the weird thing about this chart, again, someone's holding up the price. Someone is propping up the price of Quant right here. It's very, very, very clear when you look at the price action. That's weird. So someone's wanting to buy this one and to see it go up higher, which is interesting. Volume is still looking really good for the chart too. So Quant could have another little pop. Last but not least, Brett, bearish on the daily, bearish on the weekly, bearish on the 4-hour time frame with TBO breakdowns. Memes are going to suffer the most. So I'll say this, if you are looking to short the market, focus on memes, because there's no utility, no use case. It's just a fan base around it. Even poor old Murad's XBX, even the coin I was trading a lot of. Remember these TBO breakdowns back over here? It took some time. And even though it went up 17%, it's now down, 22% from there? There's no reason why these coins should continue to recover, because they don't serve any purpose. People are going to buy it, sure, but are they really buying it? No, not really. So again, any sort of little bounce that we have, if SPX happens to pump, or Brett does, like 30, 40%, I'm personally looking at opportunities to short these coins. Why? Because all of the macro trends are telling me everything's bearish. So it makes way more sense to look for short setups instead of bullish, like buying the dip to hold for the next 500% move. Okay? So I want you to watch this video that I shared about the TBO. I talked about it a little bit in this video, but I go more in depth in what I shared in yesterday's video. Watch that. And until the next time, you know what to do. Stay awesome and stay in the green. Peace.